Auston Matthews, captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs and this decade's most talented and creative goal scorer. In the vibrant world of the NHL, few players ignite excitement quite like this player. Matthews has enthralled fans with his skill, speed, and scoring prowess, nearly scoring 70 goals last season in what was the most productive goal-scoring year of his career. This offseason, Matthews' ascent into captaincy was celebrated as a new chapter for both player and franchise. Taking on a bigger role for the team and looking to bounce back from yet another disappointing playoff exit, Matthews was and is set to have a massive season. Yet as the calendar turned to the 2024-25 season, shadows seem to be looming over his production on the ice. Compared to last season, Matthews' goal-scoring production looks to be down. But what's the reason for this? And is it true? Well, today, let's talk about Auston Matthews, his alleged downtick in production, and whether or not Matthews will be able to find the same goal-scoring success as last season. To understand why Auston Matthews is having a downtick in production, first we need to take a look at a few things to add some context to this. For starters, we're going to take a look at Auston Matthews' shot, his career so far, and how some of the outside influences surrounding him and the Toronto Maple Leafs may be to blame for his slow start to the season, as opposed to him regressing as a player. According to media reports, Matthews has not been the same prolific scorer that we've come to expect. His goal-scoring output is down significantly compared to previous seasons, begging the question, will he even come close to reaching 70 goals this year? Well, to answer this question, I need to explain what makes Matthews and his game so special. Auston Matthews is no stranger to scoring. He bursted onto the NHL scene with a stunning 40 goals in his rookie season, and has consistently ranked among the league's top goal scorers ever since. Matthews is widely known for his unique ability to create space and ability to score nearly anywhere on the ice. But what truly makes him a generational goal scorer is his deadly wrist shot. This shot is quick, deceptive, and most importantly accurate, making Matthews one of the hardest players to stop if you're a goalie. Consider it from a goalie's perspective. Reading the body and head movements of a player is basically how goalies track pucks and determine where they need to be positioned. If a player always releases the puck from roughly the same spot, then you as a goalie will be able to pick up on certain positions, certain head movements, and that will allow you to stop the puck a little bit easier than with some other players. With Matthews, he keeps his hands pretty high up on the stick. Plus, he uses a pretty snappy one for a 200-pound guy, around an 80 flex each season. This allows Matthews to release shots from far outside of his body or right up in close. If he's got the puck off to the side of his body and starts to pull or drag the shot, that shot could conceivably come off his stick at any moment, meaning the goalie has no tell or signs to indicate when the puck is going to be released. The second thing is his footing. The Full 60 podcast by Craig Kustins does a great job and goes into full detail about this. Hopefully I didn't butcher any names there. If you're a hockey nerd, it's a very solid listen, so go check it out after this. In this podcast, he talks about how Matthews is always on one foot or the other, shifting around to ensure his feet are never stuck, which provides optimal movement. The reason he does this is for range and mobility, opening up the overall window of area he can use to take shots. So to summarize, the reason Auston Matthews has such a unique shot is not only because he can rip the puck from nearly anywhere on the ice, but he also uses his unique footwork as well as his IQ to be able to pick apart goalies by not providing them with an easy out with his body movement or head movement. This is something that's very unique to top goal scorers in the league and why Auston Matthews is considered a generational player. Now that the glazing of Matthews' shot is aside, let's talk about some of the other factors that may be contributing to the lack of production that people are claiming on Auston Matthews so far this season. Something that always happens with the start of each season is overreactions. It's hard to watch players go through rough patches, but even harder when players start the season out slow. In Matthews' case, he definitely has been off to a little bit of a slower season than he had been in past years, but it really shouldn't concern you because of the following reason. Right now, Matthews is leading the league in total shots per game, averaging around 4.7 shots in each match. Early season metrics indicate that a significant number of these shots are either being blocked or missing the net, signifying that Matthews is still taking chances but just needs to adjust to the opponent's defensive structures in order to get more shots through and on goal. It's also worth noting that Matthews has been notorious for going on these sort of goalless stretches where at one point he'll be going back to back with hat tricks and then the next you'll find him scoreless for 4 games in a row and sometimes even more than that. So yes, it may be happening earlier this season than it has in the past, but I'm sure Matthews isn't going to make this a habit for himself as he continues to go throughout the season. You'll see him try to be more consistent, especially since now he's taken on more of a leadership role. Most importantly, though, a big change that's happened to not only Auston Matthews, but this entire Leafs roster is the coaching staff firing Sheldon Keefe this offseason and bringing in Craig Berube as his replacement. With a new head coach comes new systems, drills, play style adjustments, and much more that we as fans don't really get to see behind the scenes, which can obviously be a big contributing factor to players' games translating differently onto the ice. Another big reason for maybe his slow start is some other changes that happened in the offseason. Something I alluded to earlier, Matthews became the captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs this offseason, and with that comes a whole new list of responsibilities and of course some more added pressure. Historically, research has shown that a significant portion of players experience a drop-off in personal statistics after becoming team captain. This is not just in hockey or the NHL, it's actually spread across every sport at every level. Matthews may be feeling the pressure to lead, not only in the locker room, but also in delivering results on and off the ice. This can take away from the instinctual goal-scoring mentality that has defined his career up until this point. Additionally, the overall dynamics of the Toronto Maple Leafs, the pressure, the media, and everything else that comes with it, play a role in Matthews' performance. This team is under intense scrutiny each season, but this year it seems a little bit higher. With some core 4 players being up for their contracts and with playoff hopes hanging in the balance, and of course this being Auston Matthews' first year as captain, there's an overwhelming pressure on star players to elevate their games, but none higher than Auston Matthews. Pressure can manifest in different ways. It may cause a player to overthink their shot or hesitate in scoring situations that they would typically capitalize on. For others, they may thrive in this sort of situation. With Auston Matthews now as leader, I'm not sure how he's going to react. And we've seen this maybe through the first couple of games where maybe he's just overthinking things a little bit too much. In high stress scenarios, Matthews may be feeling the weight of expectations and responsibility, which could be holding him back from his true potential like we've seen in previous years. So what does the future hold for Auston Matthews, and is there any legitimacy to this alleged downtick in production that the media keeps reporting about? In my opinion, I would say no, there's nothing to worry about. After last year, fans are undoubtedly anxious to see if he can turn the tide and get closer to that elusive 70 goal mark that he came so close to last season. With this comes uneasiness and very little patience. But I don't think that this is breaking through to Matthews. I don't think he's paying attention to any of the chatter, considering the fact that we're only 10% through the regular season so far. While the season has been off to a slow start for Matthews in comparison to last year scoring 7 goals in 10 games compared to 4 in 10 this year, just remember that he's one of the most talented goal scorers in the league, and his determination made him a top scorer for the past decade or so, and I don't see that changing with the Maple Leafs this year. With plenty of time still left on the season, game adjustments, and familiarity with a new system, Matthews has plenty of time to tuck just as many goals as he did last year, if not more. And I would spend very little time this season worrying about Auston Matthews' regression and focus on where the Maple Leafs are going to go as a team because, again, like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, we've only been through 10% of the games this season and there's still plenty of hockey left to play. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think Auston Matthews is having a downtick in his production compared to last year? Or do you think that this is just a story being made up because the season is starting off a little bit slow for him and other superstars? As always, drop your thoughts in the comments below and let's discuss this and anything else you guys heard in this video. Make sure you like this one and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next one.